Hello comic book fans, this is your host, Travis Collins, aka Duck Punch, and I am here for a new episode of Duck Punch Comics. I know I said I was going to do an episode yesterday, and I actually did record one, but it was crap, and I try not to subject anyone to crap unless I absolutely have to. And since you guys are nice enough to be watching my videos, I didn't feel like you had to be subjected to my crap. So, we're here with a new episode. This is our preview show. The books that are coming out next week. It's September the 8th. 17 books next week on the docket. And we're going to jump right on into the review, or into the previews, rather, from DC Comics. We actually have a pretty nice number of DC books next week. Batgirl number 14. I've been really enjoying Batgirl. It's probably my favorite Bat book right now. Always a pleasure to read. Even though they had about 2 or 3 issues where they're dealing with the calculator that was kind of, really gritty and kind of grim, more so than I usually like, this has been a very solid book. Definitely looking forward to this one. What I'm not necessarily really looking forward to, because the solicits already make it sound like it's just going to be treading water until November, is Batman number 703. I just kind of have to get this. At this point, like someone said recently, I'm a completist. At this point, I just want to say I collected it until the sort of Batman Reborn story arc was done. There you go. Next up, speaking of things that I have to keep collecting, even though I hate them, Batman and Robin number 14 by Grant freaking Morrison. Moving on, because that was just going to keep making me sad. Green Lantern number 57. Now, at the end of the last issue of Green Lantern, we saw Larfleeze, the keeper of the Orange Lantern, and Hal Jordan, the primary Green Lantern, facing off against the Orange Entity, who has taken over the mind of one of Hal's oldest villains, and is set to destroy both of these lanterns. Good stuff. Larfleeze is one of those characters that you're either going to really like him or you're not. I think he's hilarious. So, I'm kind of looking forward to this story. Plus, more Saint Walker, and I really like Saint Walker as a character. Next up, Justice League Generation Lost, number 9. Coattailing off of the issue that came out last week. The cliffhanger at the end was really, really neat. I definitely want to see what the plan is, what's going to be going on. They've kind of got the team into a bad position here, story-wise, and I want to see how they get out of it. I also want to see, maybe we find out some more about what Max Lord is actually up to. Looking forward to it. Well, finally, from DC, Red Robin number 16. I really didn't like last issue. A lot of people really love Red Robin. And it's generally been a good book, but I just really did not like last issue at all. I was disappointed, so I'm really hoping that this one can kind of redeem itself. We'll see. Now, not actually from DC, but from a subsidiary of DC, Vertigo, we are getting American Vampire number 6, which is actually written by Stephen King. Now, I hate vampires. I've said this before. I hate vampires. I think most vampire stories are boring. I really like this series. It's a lot of fun. Really kind of digging the very noir and the very gruesome nature of this stories. This is a fun book, especially if you like horror stories and you like vampire stories. Very good one. Surprisingly good. Now, moving on to Marvel, which is always I have a lot. Amazing Spider-Man number 641 and Amazing Spider-Man number 642. Now, 641 is finishing this godforsaken One Moment in Time storyline. Thank God for that. 642 is starting a new one called Origin of Species, which is supposed to pick up from the end of the Gauntlet and from the end of the Grim Hunt and kind of give us a new direction that we're going in. On the one hand, I'm really happy that we're getting done with a story arc that's been absolutely horrendous, and we're getting on to actual Spider-Man stuff. On the other hand, that means I'm having to double up. Blah. My wallet hates me. Moving on. Daredevil number 510. Part of Shadowland. I don't know what to say anymore. I just actually got done reading Shadowland number 3. It's going to be on review tomorrow. Oh, dear. Deary, deary me. At this point, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. Alright. Moving on. Invincible. Iron Man number 30. Here's the thing. When this story arc started, I got really close to just dropping this. But Fraction's kind of coming back around. I'm actually getting more interested in what's going on. So, he's got me around for a little bit longer. Iron Man is trying to find out exactly what the Hammer sisters are up to, and trying to find out exactly how he can now fit into the world, now that everyone knows just how much of a douchebag he really was. We'll just kind of see what's going. Like I said, the last issue really kind of piqued my interest back, so we'll see what happens. Next up, New Avengers number 4. This has been one of the strongest Avengers books, even though it's written by Brian Michael Bendis. If you saw the reviews for Avengers number 4, you know my opinion of that book. So I'm especially at the end of the last issue, man, I really want to see what's going on. Very cool stuff. Moving on to something really cool is Thanos Imperative number 4. I've said it before and said it again. Marvel's Cosmic Storyline is the best comic, ongoing mainline comics, period. They have always been strong. Always been good. Nova, great character. Wendell Vaughn, Quasar, great character. The entire Guardians of the Galaxy, awesome characters, great story. Thanos is there. That's all that needs to be said. Definitely looking forward to this one. Right off of last week's pick for Book of the Week, Thor number 614, wrapping up the story of Thor in Hell, fighting Mephisto and the Disir. I believe this is Kieran Gillen's last issue before Matt Fraction takes over. A little bit sad, but hopefully he'll go out with a bang. Definitely another really, really good book. X-Men Forever 2, number 7. I get this book because it makes me laugh, and it makes me remember how corny the 90s were. It doesn't mean anything, it doesn't really accomplish anything, but it's a lot of fun. I can't say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not really not looking forward to it. It's a book to get. Next up, speaking of vampires from earlier, with American Vampire, we have X-Men number 3, continuing the X-Men versus Vampires story arc. This has been really solid. Despite a lot of people, including my own sort of reservations about this has been a really solid story. I'm kind of wanting to see where it goes, especially now that, according to the previews, we're actually going to get Dracula brought back to life. That's actually pretty kind of cool, just to sort of see what all happens. Last up, now that's in for Marvel. Last up, from Boom Studios, Irredeemable number 17, which, of course, with the whole point of this comic is to ask the question, well, what would happen if Superman decided to kill everyone? The end of last issue was really, really intense. We found out just how powerful one of the background characters has been the entire freaking time. I'm really interested to see just what she's going to do now that everyone knows what's what. Mark Waid has just been so good on this title. This is a book that's just so much fun to read. So there you go, guys. 17 books. 16 of these will be put on the reviews. As always, leave comments, leave me suggestions. I look forward to talking to you guys later. Have a good night.